My dear fellow listeners and viewers, in this video, I would like to share with you how to be realistic when it comes to your expectations. That's right. There are a few things we need to keep in mind when it comes to being realistic of our expectations. And the very first thing is to make sure that we are very clear when it comes to our values. That's right. We need to be extremely clear when it comes to our values, because keep in mind, there are things that excites us, there are things that matters to us, especially when we know that we're living for a purpose, right? There are things that, there are things that we enjoy the most, all of those things. So we need to be clear, extremely clear when it comes to our own personal values. So that's the number one thing you want to keep in mind. And I think another thing you want to keep in mind as well too is to make sure that you evaluate your expectations. That's right. You want to make sure that you take some time to evaluate your expectations, because keep in mind, sometimes we have very high expectations in life, right? And there's not necessarily wrong with that, but you want to make sure that these expectations are not so high that you are going to set up yourself for failure, or you're going to be extremely disappointed even when you're doing well. So you want to make sure that you take some time to evaluate those expectations you have, so that way you know that, you know what, your expectations is not that high, but it is doable, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind. And last but not least, you want to make sure that you spend enough time to focus on your journey and on your story. I mean, we as human beings, of course, we have the tendency to worry about other people. We have the tendency to worry about how other people live their lives. And we forget about our own journey. We forget about our own purpose in life. And we forget that we ourselves, we have our own story, right? So those are the key three pieces when it comes to being realistic, when it comes to your expectations, right? Very simple, but it is important for us to keep these in mind. And just a recap, it is important for us to evaluate our values, very, very important. And the second thing is that we want to make sure that we evaluate our expectations, because we want to make sure that we are not setting, too much of a high expectation for ourselves, for kids and things of that kind, right? And last but not least, again, we want to make sure that we focus, very important, focus on our journey, focus on our story. I hope that you find this video very fruitful. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Narayan Sopram, wishing you a great today and even better tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon.